All right, so you're ready for a Thailand adventure, but you want something more than the typical touristy stuff, right? You're looking for something authentic, something real.
Yeah.
Well, have you heard of Eisen?
Oh, yeah. Eisen is fascinating. A lot of people go there for exactly that reason you were talking about, like that authenticity.
Yeah.
It's a Thailand that's less commercialized,
Yeah.
really connected to its roots.
It's like stepping back in time, and we got all these travel blogs, insider guides, and even advice from people who've been traveling to Thailand for years.
Hmm.
And they all agree Eisen is the place to go to experience Thailand differently.
Yeah, they're right. I mean, you think about it, you've got like lush rice paddies and the Mekong River winding through everything, and ancient Khmer ruins.
Wait, Khmer ruins?
Yeah.
Like Angkor Wat?
Well, not exactly Angkor Wat, but yeah, pretty impressive.
Right.
Eisen has a really deep connection to the Khmer Empire historically.
Wow.
Yeah, so you find these incredible temple complexes. Like, have you heard of Phanom Rung Historical Park?
I don't think so.
It's on an extinct volcano. It's amazing. History and culture and stunning landscapes all in one.
Okay, I'm already hooked. So we're talking about a different side of Thailand here, right?
Right.
Not just the beaches and like the hustle and bustle.
Exactly. Eisen's culture is really distinct from the rest of Thailand. You see a lot of influences from Laos and Cambodia.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and that means unique festivals and music. Have you ever heard of More Lamb?
I don't think so.
It's like their traditional folk music, really lively melodies, and they tell stories through it. And of course, the food.
Ooh, yeah. Everyone
Yeah.
always talks about Eisen food.
Yeah, it's known for being really bold, often spicier and more pungent than, typical Thai food.
Okay.
There's a reason for that. Eisen's climate is a lot hotter and drier, so they use more fermented ingredients like plara.
Okay.
It's like a fermented fish sauce, and it gives the food like this really unique depth of flavor.
I'm really curious now. What are some dishes I need to try?
Definitely some tam.
Some tam.
It's the papaya salad. Super fresh, spicy, and tangy. And then there's nyang. That's grilled chicken marinated in all these herbs and spices. Oh, and here's a tip from one of the sources we were looking at. Visit those local markets early in the morning.
Okay.
You'll get the freshest, most authentic dishes, and you'll be supporting the local vendors too.
I can just imagine walking through that bustling market, the aroma of grilled chicken and spices everywhere. You grab a plate of that some tam,
Oh, yeah.
sensory overload in the best way possible.
Absolutely. And speaking of sensory experiences, the music scene in Eisen is something else. I mentioned Moorlam before.
Yeah.
It's really the heart and soul of their musical heritage. They have these really lively melodies, and often they're dancing while they're playing and telling stories about like the joys and sorrows and everyday life of the people. Attending one of these Moorlam concerts is a must-do.
Wow. Okay, so we've got incredible food, captivating music, and ancient temples. This all sounds amazing, but is Eisen budget-friendly?
Yeah, you know what? One thing that's consistent across all of our sources is that Eisen is surprisingly affordable. You can find budget accommodations, street food, local transport. It's all super cheap.
Good to know. And what's the best way to get around?
Well, if you want the ultimate freedom to explore those little hidden places you find all over Eisen, renting a motorbike is a popular option.
Okay.
But, if you're not comfortable driving yourself, then hiring a driver or sharing tuk-tuks is also really common, and it's cost-effective too.
Got it. So we've covered the food, music, temples. What about adventure? Any must-see natural wonders?
Oh, absolutely. Khao Yai National Park is a highlight for a lot of travelers.
Yeah.
We're talking about hiking through jungles, seeing waterfalls, spotting wildlife like gibbons. You might even see elephants.
Elephants. Now that's an adventure. Any specific spots you'd recommend in the park?
Yeah, our expert travel source really recommends the Thip waterfall.
Okay.
Imagine this stunning cascade. Perfect for like a refreshing dip after a hot day of exploring.
I'm adding that to my list. Before we get too carried away with all these waterfalls and elephants, what about practical stuff? Anything we should keep in mind when we're out in the wilderness?
Oh, yeah. Our expert emphasized being prepared. Like, bring mosquito repellent and wear long pants tucked into your socks, especially after it rains.
Well, after it rains.
Leeches can be kind of a problem.
Oh, leeches.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. Any other insider tips?
They recommend going to the national parks on weekdays if you can.
Okay.
You avoid the crowds, and it's just a more peaceful experience.
Makes sense.
Oh, and this is a tip for anywhere in Eisen, not just the national parks. Learning a few basic Thai phrases will go a long way.
Yeah,
It's a way of interacting with locals and showing respect for their culture, and it can really make your trip a lot better.
that's great advice. So we've got the nature, food, music. What else does Eisen have in store?
Well, Eisen isn't just about nature and food. It's got tons of rich cultural experiences. Like there's the Phaita Khan festival. Imagine a parade of locals all wearing these crazy, vibrant masks and costumes celebrating their ancient folklore.
Costumes and folklore. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So it's really rooted in a reverence for their spirits and their ancestors.
Interesting.
Yeah, Phaita Khan is really all about highlighting that spiritual side of Eisen culture. You see all these crazy masks and costumes, and they have music and chanting. It's really unlike anything you've ever seen before.
So we've got ancient temples, spicy food, unique music, spiritual festivals. It's like a whole different world.
Exactly, and that's just scratching the surface. There's so much more to discover in Eisen.
All right, I am definitely intrigued. Let's dive deeper into some of those unique Eisen experiences.
So one of the sources we looked at mentioned this really cool place called the Living Community Museum in Buen Con.
A museum that's a living community.
Yeah, it's actually a traditional Eisen home that's been transformed into this totally immersive cultural experience. You actually get to step back in time and witness the daily life and traditions of Eisen people right there in front of you.
So it's not just about looking at artifacts and stuff. You're actually experiencing the culture.
Exactly. It's about engaging with the community and really understanding their way of life, appreciating all the little nuances of Eisen culture.
Okay, that's definitely going on the list. What else did our research uncover?
Well, if you're into ancient history, the Bianchang archaeological site in Udon Thani is a must-see. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site for a reason. We're talking about artifacts that go back thousands of years.
Thousands of years. Wow. What kind of history are we talking about here?
Well, it gives you a glimpse into one of Southeast Asia's earliest Bronze Age civilizations.
Wow.
You can see their pottery and tools and even evidence of their burial practices. It's really a fascinating look into how long and rich Eisen's history is.
It's amazing to think about people living and thriving in that region so long ago.
Absolutely. And speaking of ancient history, we can't forget about all the Khmer ruins scattered throughout Eisen. Remember those intricate temples we talked about?
Oh yeah, the ones that reminded me of Angkor Wat.
Yeah. Places like Prasat Mongthom and Phom Rung Historical Park in Buriram Province are great examples of the Khmer architectural influence. You see these massive structures with all their intricate carvings. They're really a testament to the region's history and connection to the Khmer Empire.
It's like a mini Angkor Wat circuit right there in Thailand.
You could say that. And beyond the temples, Eisen's also got all these traditional crafts Surin province is known for its silverware and silk weaving.
I would love to see that. The artistry and skill involved in stuff like that must be incredible.
Yeah, it's a chance to actually watch traditions that have been passed down for generations, see the artisans working and learn about their techniques, and you can even buy some unique souvenirs there.
It's like a living museum of traditional craftsmanship.
Yeah, you could say that. And speaking of living things, we can't forget about the Mekong River. It's the lifeblood of Eisen. It's not just a river. It's this cultural symbol and a source of livelihood and just this stunning natural wonder.
Yeah, one of the sources we read suggested taking a boat trip down the Mekong.
That's a great way to see Eisen's natural beauty. You could visit some lesser-known places like Kangtana National Park or check out the river communities and just soak in the tranquility of the river.
So picture this. You're gliding along the Mekong. The sun setting, the sounds of nature are all around you.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds like the perfect way to unwind and connect with the heart of Eisen.
It really captures Eisen's tranquility and connection to nature.
So we've talked about food festivals' history, but there's one thing we keep coming back to. Music.
Yeah.
Tell me more about this Morlam scene.
It's more than just music. Morlam is storytelling, a reflection of Eisen's soul.
Okay.
They have these lively melodies, often accompanied by traditional instruments. Have you heard the cone?
I don't think so.
It's a bamboo mouth organ. And then there's the fin. It's like a lute.
It's a really unique sound.
Oh, yeah. And the lyrics tell stories about love and loss and hardship and everyday life. It's how the Eisen people express their emotions and connect with their heritage.
Our sources said going to a Morlam concert's a must-do.
Oh, yeah. It's so vibrant and energetic. You see the performers dancing and you hear the stories unfold through their music and you just feel the energy of the crowd. You really feel immersed in Aizen culture.
Like a window into their soul.
Exactly. And speaking of soul, Aizen has a really strong spiritual side. You can see that Buddhist heritage everywhere in their temples. They all have this unique beauty and significance.
One source mentioned Wat Panan Salwan in Roy Et.
That's a stunning temple. It has all these sculptures that blend both Buddhist and Hindu influences. You see depictions of mythical creatures, scenes from the Buddhist teachings. It's a real mix of architectural styles.
Sounds like a feast for the eyes.
It is. And then you've got Wat Thung Shrim Wing in Udon Thani. Imagine this beautiful wooden Tripitaka library that's built on stilts over a tranquil pool.
Wow, that sounds peaceful.
These temples are more than just places of worship. They're sanctuaries, you know, filled with art and architecture. You can wander around and just feel a sense of peace.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. Temples, music, history. Anything else in our research that surprised you?
You know, there was one thing that stood out to me. It's kind of unusual.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Have you ever heard of the King Cobra Village?
The King Cobra Village. Sounds a little scary.
It's this village called Ban Kok Sanga. And the villagers there live alongside, yep, you guessed it, king cobras.
Even cobras, the most venomous snakes in the world. Why would people live with them?
It's really something else. It shows that unique relationship Aizen people have with nature, even the dangerous parts.
Okay.
They have this deep respect and understanding of these creatures. They've learned to coexist.
That's either really brave or really crazy. I can't decide.
It's definitely a unique part of Aizen culture.
Yeah.
The sources we saw described it as this fascinating but kind of unnerving experience.
I have to admit I'm curious, but I think I'll admire the king cobras from a safe distance.
Probably a good idea. You know, Aizen isn't just about the past. It's changing all the time, blending traditional with modern. Like, you even find trendy cafes popping up in cities like Udon Thani.
Cafes. In the land of ancient temples and king cobras.
Exactly. It's that mix that makes Aizen so fascinating. You can be sipping a latte in this cool cafe one minute and exploring a centuries-old temple the next.
So you get the best of both worlds.
You could say that. Aizen has something for everyone. History buffs, adventure seekers, foodies, and people who are just looking for a genuine cultural experience.
You've convinced me Aizen's definitely at the top of my list for Thailand now. But before we get too carried away planning our trip, we should probably talk about the best time to visit. So with all this incredible stuff to do, and see when's the best time to go to Aizen.
Well, our expert travel source recommends going during the cool season.
Okay.
So that's like November to February. It's the most pleasant weather for like exploring temples and hiking in national parks and just enjoying being outside.
That makes sense. But I bet each season has its own cool stuff, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
If you want to experience those really lively festivals in Aizen, you might want to go during a different time of year.
Okay.
Like the hot season, March to May, that's when they have Bunmang Fei,
Bunbang Fei.
the rocket festival.
Oh, cool.
It's wild. Teams make these homemade rockets and launch them way up into the sky.
Wow.
To like encourage rain for good harvests.
Oh, interesting. What about the rainy season? Thailand's landscapes are so lush then, right?
Yeah, totally. The rainy season from June to October turns Aizen into this green paradise.
Yeah,
Plus, it's when you might see the Phai Ta Khan festival with all this colorful masks and costumes.
So no matter when you go, there's always something cool going on.
Totally. Aizen's a year-round destination. They've got something for every kind of traveler.
Yeah.
Whether you're into ancient history or the culture or the spicy food or just want an adventure, Aizen is a place that stays with you.
Yeah, it sounds like Aizen offers this really authentic experience, like a chance to see a different side of Thailand that a lot of people miss.
Yeah, it's a place that encourages you to go off the beaten path, embrace the unexpected. It's a Thailand that's enchanting and enriching all at the same time.
I'm ready to book my flight. Aizen, here I come.
Me too. So what appeals to you most about Aizen? The adventure, the culture, the spicy food?
Whatever it is for you, we encourage you to check out the sources we use for this deep dive. There's so much more to uncover, and your Aizen adventure is just a click away. Go explore, go experience, go discover the magic of Aizen.